The viral story of OnlyFans creator Sophie Rain, who publicly claimed to have earned an unbelievable $43 million in a single year, is not the success story everyone on social media believes it to be. The reality, exposed by legal filings, leaked financial DMs, and contradictory timelines, paints a much darker picture of an unstable fortune now facing a massive, career-threatening intellectual property lawsuit. What the world saw was a confident young mogul comparing her income to professional athletes. What we're about to uncover is the business fragility of a digital empire built on alleged manipulation and a blatant disregard for collaboration contracts. The expectations were set on a massive wave of fame and money, but the reality involves courtrooms, frozen bank accounts, and a shocking, desperate public relations pivot. This video is going to answer 3 crucial questions the public is missing. First, how was that $43 million number, the core of her fame, actually calculated? And why do accounting experts allege it's highly misleading? Second, what exactly is the intellectual property lawsuit that has reportedly frozen significant assets and could potentially wipe out her entire business? And third, how did a sudden, high-profile pivot to spiritual content serve as a calculated and almost theatrical PR defense mechanism against these very serious allegations? By following the money and the paper trail, we will reveal the shocking, unverified truth of a digital fortune under siege. The expectation is that content creation is pure profit, but the reality is that the financial structure of the Blue site leaves even the top creators vulnerable to collapse. The most shocking part of this entire saga, the reason this controversy has now escalated from internet drama to a massive legal threat, begins with a photographer named Marcus Allen and an allegedly ignored signed contract. Allen, who shot some of Rain's most viral, high production value content in her first 6 months on the platform, has filed a breach of contract and intellectual property infringement lawsuit. According to the legal claim filed in September 2025, Rain allegedly continued to sell the content Allen created long after the contractual usage period had expired. The contract, a redacted portion of which was shared with the press on October 1, 2025, allegedly stipulated a 6-month licensing period for the images and video packages, after which Rain was required to pay a hefty renewal fee or take the content down. Allen's legal team alleges Rain did neither, instead continuously selling the content through private direct messages and as pay-per-view packages, directly profiting off Allen's copyrighted work without authorization. This is not merely a handshake deal gone wrong. The lawsuit points to clear, written terms. The potential payout here is massive for the photographer. Allen is reportedly seeking millions in damages, which is common in copyright cases where infringement is proven willful and profitable. The real danger for Rain is that Allen's team successfully petitioned the court to freeze a portion of the revenue stream directly tied to the allegedly infringing content. This isn't just a fine. It's a temporary block on funds, and that is a massive blow to a high-volume creator's cash flow. The common belief is that the creator owns everything they post, but the reality is that complex licensing agreements with photographers and videographers can create a hidden financial time bomb. The next point addresses the core myth that built her celebrity, the $43 million. How was it calculated, and why is it misleading? When Rain originally posted the screenshot of her claimed earnings, the number was a staggering $43.4 million, which immediately went viral. This figure became her entire brand, the proof that her spicy content was superior to that of mainstream celebrities. However, an analysis by the digital finance news outlet The Ledger in December 2024 pointed out a critical distinction. That $43 million is alleged to be the gross site volume, the total amount of money subscribers paid for her content, not her personal net income. The Blue site famously takes a 20% cut of all creator earnings. This alone instantly dropped her maximum possible take-home to around $34.7 million. But that's just the start. According to an interview Rain did with a high-profile podcast in January 2025, she reportedly employed a full-time social media manager, a videographer, a full-time editor, and an expensive management agency that took an additional 15% cut. A leaked direct message exchange from a former long-term collab partner, published by a notorious internet drama commentator in August 2025, suggests that her agency take rate was actually closer to 20% and that her production costs ran into the hundreds of thousands. When factoring in the site commission, agency fees, taxes, and production costs, the ledger analysis suggested her actual net personal income for that year was likely closer to the $18 to $22 million range. Still an astronomical sum, but less than half of the public-facing number. This discrepancy answers our first question. The $43 million was allegedly a marketing number, not a net worth statement. The payout for the public in this section is the reality check. Sensational income numbers are often inflated gross revenue, not actual cash in pocket. This deliberate misdirection set the stage for the dramatic collapse in trust. But the financial misrepresentation is only one layer. The alleged manipulation of her collaborators is the next. This leads directly into the allegations from a former long-term collab partner, a male creator named Jax, who alleges a timeline manipulation designed to cheat him out of a contractual revenue share. Jax and Rain collaborated on a massive promotional campaign and several pieces of spicy content that were sold in a bundle package for a limited time. According to Jax's public statement in a YouTube video posted in October 2025, their contract stipulated a 50-50 split on the revenue generated from that specific package for a period of 90 days following its release. However, Jax alleges that Rain's team delayed the official launch date on the Blue site for almost 2 weeks while continuing to promote it on her massive public social media pages. This created what Jax calls a pre-sale phantom period, where fans were allegedly buying the package early through private, untracked messages or being funneled to other content before the 90-day clock officially started ticking. Jax claims the revenue he eventually received for the 90-day window was inexplicably low, and he believes a significant amount of the sales were front-loaded into this undocumented period. This answers a part of our second question. The legal threat isn't just about copyright, it's also about revenue manipulation. Jax is reportedly pursuing a separate legal route, seeking an audit of the sales data for that specific time frame, which would force Rain's team to open their books for the first time. The public payout here is the truth about how collaborations can go wrong. It's not just about content creation, but about the intricate and often disputed business of digital rights management. The timeline of this legal trouble is what makes Rain's next move so telling. As both the photographers and the collaborators' complaints began to gain traction across gossip blogs and social media in late October 2025, Rain made a dramatic, highly uncharacteristic pivot. Her content stream, which was previously laser-focused on luxury flexing, exotic travel, and her industry work, suddenly shifted to a highly stylized, almost muted tone. She began posting videos discussing her spiritual journey, her retreat from the negativity of social media, and her newfound focus on meditation and personal growth. She even launched a new, separate subscription channel, allegedly dedicated entirely to life coaching and manifesting success. This shift, which shocked her core audience, perfectly answers our third question. It was a calculated PR defense. When the legal and financial claims threatened to define her public narrative as a greedy, manipulative business person, she attempted to redefine it as a serene, enlightened victim of online bullying. This is the oldest move in the PR playbook. Change the story, change the conversation. She is allegedly attempting to attract a new audience that is completely unfamiliar with her old image, and more importantly, less interested in financial receipts and legal documents. The new content is a clean slate, a spiritual shield against financial transparency. This maneuver demonstrates the extent of the manipulation. When the money talk got too dangerous, the conversation pivoted to morality and mindset. The payout for her is the hope that her career, now under legal and financial duress, will survive by shedding its old skin and adopting a brand new, monetization-safe one. Further complicating the financial timeline are reports, first published by the drama channel Tea Time Confidential in November 2025, alleging that Rain's recent purchase of a multi-million-dollar property was financed almost entirely through leverage and a short-term, high-interest loan. The speculation is that the property purchase was designed to remove a large liquid asset from her immediate business holdings, making it harder for potential litigants to seize cash. While this is unverified insider speculation and should be treated as such, The timing of the purchase in June 2025, just months before the first legal claim, raises serious questions about financial pre-planning. The image she projects is an owner of massive wealth, but the reality is a business facing significant debt and legal exposure, where the $43 million number is now a target painted on her back. To recap, the reality versus the expectation. The expectation was a $43 million pure profit success story. The reality is a legal nightmare where the total revenue was significantly lower. A major portion is frozen by an intellectual property lawsuit from a former photographer, and a separate former collaborator is seeking an audit over alleged revenue manipulation. The final stage of this story is the desperate, almost theatrical pivot to spiritual content, a clear attempt to redefine the narrative away from the courtroom and back to her brand's control. The story of Sophie Rain is a microcosm of the entire adult industry's facade. It shows us that the biggest challenge for a top-tier content creator is not the explicit work itself, but the opaque, often predatory business structures that operate behind the scenes. The minute the contract is broken, the money can stop and the curated persona shatters. The fame is real, the money is real, but the stability is an illusion. Don't be fooled by the high-gloss screenshots. To truly understand how this industry operates, the mistakes that can cost a creator everything, and the manipulative PR tactics they use to survive, you need to look beyond the viral headlines and follow the paper trail. For a deeper dive into the world of agency contracts, hidden fee structures, and the biggest financial mistakes in the industry, check out the Velvet Rope Industry Secrets playlist linked below. You won't believe the true cost of chasing viral success.